Hi guys, welcome to Talking Strongman. Today's guest is Don Idrees, one of the main men behind the World Ultimate Strongman, and we are catching up again. There's quite a little bit to catch up on since we last chatted. Obviously, we had Bahrain, which was a great contest, things to learn from. But since then, you guys have kind of been pushing and pushing, and you've got some huge events coming up. Exciting part of the year, really. Let's talk about it.
For sure. Thanks for having me on again. And may I say, today actually would mark our 1 year anniversary. The first podcast we did was this time last year.
Wow, it's been an incredible year.
Right around when we ended the first season of Feats of Strength, and we got yelled at by everybody, and then we got applauded by everybody. Yeah, it was July 15th, 16th, something like that. Yeah, really? That's when we did our first podcast. Yeah.
That's a better
1 year. and you had, we were like, right, we need to get lost at 25,000 subs at least. Look at you now, mister.
We're getting there. It's all growing.
We've been up on 100. Hey,
we're trying. it's coming, hopefully. But no, it's been a very tough,
Jesus Christ,
probably 18 months. Is that a bad coffee you got there?
No, it's Ozzy made me a Turkish coffee. It's very effective, but
it's got a bit of a kick.
It'll put hair on your chest quickly.
I've got enough of that. I think I'll stick to milder stuff.
So Loz, it's been Christ, when one thinks about it, I mean, when the deadlift and the fight between Eddie and Thor thing happened, we were like, we've got loads of time. It's like 18 months away. Nobody cares.
It's creeping up.
60 days, mate. 60 days.
Yeah. So it's September the 18th.
So, a very interesting weekend. I'm sure there's a lot of questions online about, we thought this was going to be in Vegas and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of stuff we can't put out there in writing. But look, the fact of the matter is, it's very simple. The plan was for Vegas. Yeah. We went to Vegas ourselves in April to scope out location, to finalize the venue. Just things change when governments open things up. Suddenly, who used to be very friendly thinks that they don't need you anymore, and they just, let's open up. So it became a situation where Vegas wasn't giving us what we wanted.
Okay.
That plus a little bit of a, let's say, difficulty in getting the Eddie and Thor fight sanctioned.
Sure.
I mean, Nevada State Commission is very strict, right? They will block fights for if they think it's unfair, for example. That's why all the Logan Pauls and all those other non-boxing fights never happen in Vegas, right? Okay. So it was great because the venue we had chosen was perfect. It was perfect for World's Ultimate Strongman, perfect for World's Ultimate Strongwoman. Everybody was going to stay in the same hotel. Unfortunately, that went out the window. And 2 months of grueling pain trying to find another host city until Jacksonville, Florida just made us the best possible offer. The best arena, support with hospitality. There was a lot of factors that went into this. Yeah. So we do feel bad, and we apologize to anybody who had already booked flights to go to Vegas or was hoping to have a bachelor party in Vegas as an ancillary event. And yeah, I mean, we're excited. We're probably going to be the biggest event in town that weekend, second to the Sunday. So Friday, we're starting out with an outside fan fest area.
Yep.
During which we'll get to our involvement with the 105 kg strongman category later, but we are doing a little bit of a small competition there with the help of Strength Lead, Anthony Furman, and all of them. Then from 5 p.m., this is the 17th, that's when World's Ultimate Strongwoman starts. After that, the men's. So that's your Friday sorted. Saturday is the fight.
Yeah.
To keep it viewer friendly. Most people don't buy the pay-per-view when it's an American fight because they're like, I'm in the UK. I'm probably going to have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It is not that. The card starts at 9:30 p.m. UK. And by the time Eddie and Thor are fighting, it's like midnight.
Okay.
So it's a Saturday night.
You're trying to make sure Europeans are on a good time.
Exactly. So if we're encouraging people to buy that for $14.99, it's £11.99 for the entire card.
Yeah.
We may as well just make the time friendly as well so that people who want to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, as a boxing and MMA fan, sometimes I don't bother watching the fights in America because the time change, the time zone, you end up having to watch at 4 or 5 in the morning. And
exactly. It's just not. We don't want the customer to have to even think about making that decision. Oh, this is a no-brainer. 9:30 p.m. I'll call a bunch of friends at home. We'll open a bunch of beers and we'll watch a few good fights, and we'll see. Then the Sunday in that town, it's the season opening NFL game right across the road.
Okay.
So the town's going to be packed, right? So the town's going to be packed and there's not much else going on. So those two are the biggest events that weekend. So a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Because we've had messages from people are flying in for World's Ultimate Strongman from Wisconsin, Texas, Massachusetts, because flights in the US are like $100 return, right? And hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll have a good hotel partnership and we'll be putting out a link for anybody who wants to stay the 3-4 days. Hopefully it'll be something cheaper than what's available on the internet. So that's what's happening. And this is 60 days away and we are crapping ourselves. Like, we'll get it done. Tickets are selling. Now, do you know we had that whole thing of the strongman purists and, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do the boxing. This is bullshit. The most popular selling ticket right now is the weekend pass.
Yeah. Well, I think having them both together is just a great call because, you know, for someone like myself, who I probably class myself as a strongman purist, I admire greatly what Thor and Eddie did in the strongman arena. You know, their achievements were unbelievable. For me, the fight is like, it's entertainment. You know, I know there's the beef between them and they want to sort that out, but for the rest of us, it's just entertainment. And the fact that you put it with the strongman, even if I was just coming just as a fan, I'd come for the weekend because it's that morbid curiosity of who is going to win between these two, Goliaths. And it's
exactly.
You've still got the strongman to look forward to. You guys have mentioned your involvement now with the under 105. So you kind of worked with Anthony Furman on Clash on the Coast.
I was there personally.
Yep. Which is
hiding.
Great to see. I know
I don't want to be seen on camera, but it was a great show. It was Laws. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a weekend that much. It was by the beach. It was great. There was loads of athletes. The whole atmosphere. If anybody was to experience that, if any bitter, angry strongman as a garage sport fan was there, it truly showed the true colors of what the strongman community is. Everybody is nice. Yeah. Everybody is nice. Everybody's having a good time. People with torn biceps walking around and, hey, it's not like other sports. It's not like other sports where there's bickering and backstabbing. Now, organizations are different. There's a lot of corruption, right? But that's a promoter problem. It's not a sport problem.
No.
You know, the essence of the sport is so beautiful.
The sport, yeah, it's a very friendly sport on the whole. You know, you can normally you can message an elite athlete and they'll get back to you.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
They'll talk to you, pass on advice. And how many sports would you see that?
You can't do that in boxing, can't do that in football. You try sliding into an athlete's DMs and say, hey, I'd like to collaborate on something. They'll fucking, no response. Strongman, doesn't matter. Thor still does his own DMs.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a person handling his social media. So no matter how big you get, it's still a very humbling sport.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why me, who's not really a sport, my job, I told you, doesn't change throughout all of our promotions. You can have mongoose versus snake. You can have bear versus tiger. My job remains the absolute same, right? But if I'm talking about strongman with such passion, it's got to say something about it, you know? Well, I just love it. I just love the atmosphere.
You know how much I love strongman, and obviously looking forward to being a part of this weekend. It's going to be an epic weekend. I want to talk to you about the women's side of things because this is, I mean, even now, which is sad, I go to events and people actually say, oh, is there such a thing as strong women? And obviously, you know, I know these ladies, I know how impressive they are. Records are being smashed on a weekly basis right now. The sport is progressing exceptionally fast. And now just recently we're starting to see more opportunities for the ladies. And obviously you guys have brought them on to go alongside the men, which is a very big opportunity, because I think you're going to have more fans at an event when you've got, if you, at the moment, with a growing sport, if you do a men's event one day and then a women's event the next day, you're not going to have the same amount of fans. Whereas you get all of them in one day, this could be huge, and a huge opportunity for them to showcase what they're capable of, because I know what they're capable of, but still a lot of strongman fans don't know what the women do.
We had that option of splitting the men and the women's. We're like, nope, it just doesn't make sense. It goes against what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to drop off in the fans. You don't want to even risk, if the idea is to promote the women, right? Which the format so the events are going to be the same for the men and the women. Same arena, same location, same events, just the weights are going to change, right? So if somebody's there to watch the men, it's not like he doesn't have to think, oh, well, tomorrow maybe I'll watch the women. Or no, you're watching everything.
Yeah.
End of discussion. So World's Ultimate Strong Woman was created as a concept from the very beginning. It was always part of our plan. But time. Everything has the right time. We started plugging it last year with the feats of strength. We're like, right, let's get the women to break the records. You know what I mean? Donna came, Rhiannon, Andrea came, and she demolished everything. And so we just saw this opportunity. We're like, okay, it's an opportunity to start. When we started the first World's Ultimate Strongman, there was no qualification system. We didn't know, but we had to make some noise. So we're like, all right, we'll go through all the other promotions. We'll pick the top 10 or 15 biggest athletes and we'll invite them.
Yeah.
Do a couple of shows that way, build the brand. Then we set up a qualification system that is fair and open to everybody and doesn't put too much pressure on the athlete. Like, oh, we'll create our own 10 qualifiers and you must do that. We're not going to do that. Okay. The qualification process for the women will be announced soon for next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So this year's is an invitation only. I'm not sure the exact lineup. The top 10 that we thought should be invited were invited by Mark. Most of them have accepted, but there's a few contracts back and forth, this and that. So once we get those done, then we'll officially announce the lineup. It's going to be, I think, 8 or 10 female athletes. I forget the exact number. It's going to be the biggest prize in women's strongman history. Okay, which doesn't sound like it was a lot, but we're going to try, right? We're going to try to be not for bragging rights, but mostly to set a trend.
Sure.
You remember in 2018, before our first show, we had a conversation, and I told you it's going to take 2 to 3 years for other promoters to get their shit together and start raising the prize money for the men's.
Yeah.
And I believe that prediction has come true recently because everybody's kind of upping their game. We're not going to take credit for it, but it's the idea. Rogue, our biggest sponsor, Rogue, and us, we're kind of on the same page of why we want to give big prize money. It's not for anything other than athletes should be able to earn a living by competing.
Yeah.
Right. And by competing and earning a living, it gives them a chance to not do a secondary job and get better. When they get better and start winning big competitions or place top 3 or top 5, therein opens up the doors for sponsors and endorsements, and just like every other sport. But if you're not able to quit your job at the garage or at the factory or whatever, because doing $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 competitions is just not, you can't feed a family off of that.
Yeah.
Right. If it was up to us, if it were more, if the economics kept getting better and better, we don't want anybody to walk away from a competition without at least $5,000 in their pocket, or 10 even, the last place. But we're not there yet.
Obviously, it's all about growing. The sport.
You got to start somewhere. Start somewhere.
I think sometimes the athletes can help in that respect. I remember when I was kind of starting out, and I was like, I'm going to be a pro strongman. Live the dream, and my idea was I could just compete in every competition I did and, win a bit of prize money here and there. And it was a real stupid thing to do because the prize money wasn't great. And obviously I didn't at that time create a character. I didn't think about how am I going to bring more fans to the sport. I was just thinking about how do I win? But I think the athletes now have to use the tools that we have to generate more interest, do these social media appearances, try and be a little bit you don't all have to be an Eddie Hall or a Thor Bjornsson. You just you got to create your own character and, you know, get people invested into what you do. And it makes such a difference.
A strong man or strong woman, it's not a team sport. It's a single person sport. Yeah. So every athlete has the potential of being their own brand, right? Andrea Thompson is a brand. Look at other sports. Steffi Cohen, as a standalone person, used to be a powerlifter. She's a brand.
Yes.
Eddie Hall, the Beast, is a brand. Thor is a brand. Shaw is a brand. The Stoltman brothers are a brand. I know sometimes it's tough because of language barriers or social media know-how, but one can learn. The options and the avenues for revenue and earning that are available today to an athlete are not the same as what they were 10 years ago.
Very different. Yeah.
Look at the likes of Larry Wheels. Okay. You got to hats off to him. The guy his primary source of income is YouTube.
Yeah.
And why is that? He's not out selling his soul. I mean, none of these people are selling their soul or like doing something untoward or, you know, pants down OnlyFans pictures. No, they're simply doing what they do best, but they're portraying it in a manner that the fans want to see.
Yeah.
The more the fans see, the more you earn. So it's a great time to be an athlete of a single sport that is not controlled or sort of blocked by certain promotions or a certain promoter. I think is great. But from an exposure and an like you said, most people don't even know what strong woman is. Still to this day, the average layman will confuse strongman, Ironman, and bodybuilding.
Yeah. I used to get
triathlon.
The amount of times people look at me and go, you do bodybuilding? I'm like, look at me, dude. I don't do bodybuilding.
But when you email people, they're like, we're interested in your Ironman. I'm like, Ironman is you're cycling and swimming and running. Totally the opposite of what we're doing. Yeah. So it's a hard sell sometimes for the average layman unless they see it.
Yes.
And that's why we thought it was very important to always keep the shows live, reach as many people as possible, put it out for free for as much as possible, and put it on TV. ESPN and ESPN2, why they keep censoring you and censoring Anthony Furman and Rob Kearney and all of the crap that comes out of our mouth. Strongman is a casual sport. Why we're sticking to ESPN is because that's the home, that's the family-friendly version. It's not ESPN Plus. It's ESPN that goes out to everybody. Yeah. The more mainstream people see the sport, the more they'll get to know about it. And okay, if it takes a couple of angry fans that, you're ruining it by getting two guys to box, the eyes that are going to come to the sport, especially if the competition is right next to it, you can't buy that.
Yeah.
You can't pay for that kind of marketing. So hopefully everything goes as planned and it'll be great. I mean, so that's...
Well, talk to me about the boxing, because we've got 3 fights on the card. Is that right?
We have 8.
8 fights. Okay.
8 fights. So,
and are they all sort of, you know?
No.
Okay.
So the opening fights, there's 2 fights, amateur.
Yeah.
We're in association with USA Boxing and the National Collegiate Boxing Association of the U.S. The first two fights are actually West Point versus Naval Academy, U.S. Army versus U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun, right? After that, you've got the Avril Matthew versus a different opponent. She's a pro boxer. Her and Steffi are not fighting each other. She's too inexperienced, and Avril is a 6-0.
Yeah, I was looking at the record of Avril and thinking, if Steffi's
she's undefeated. She's undefeated. I mean, Steffi's a machine.
Great. She's a freak athlete, obviously.
But she's had 1 fight.
Sure.
Right? I just don't want to take that risk. So both of them are going to have different opponents, and they're actually both pros. Okay? Then we have 2 actual pro boxing slots are yet to be confirmed. Maybe we'll be able to have a budget to have some kind of a world title, but I don't think that's the case. But we'll definitely have 2 pro boxing fights, good fights, not necessarily the biggest names, but like good
fighters.
Yeah, exactly. Then you've got Josh and Jacob, 2 elite CrossFitters, one of whom was a former Navy SEAL.
Is there some kind of beef between these 2? I mean, I'm a CrossFit fan.
Actually, no. The beef originally, when the deal was proposed to us, it was Josh Bridges versus David Castro.
Okay.
That's an ongoing beef. Everybody,
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody hates Castro, but everybody loves to hate him. The CrossFit world is not my thing, but apparently it's a thing. But he didn't accept, or he didn't want to do it, and then we had to identify somebody else. They specifically set everything up and came back to him and said, "Is this a good idea? Would you like to be involved?" I'm like, if they're going to take their training seriously, we don't want this to be a circus act.
Sure.
So yeah, there was a very brief process of negotiation, which then led to a partnership with CrossFit as a company. So they are going to promote this fight with us, CrossFit Incorporated. I think that they might be doing something at the CrossFit Games, Josh and Jacob. They're not. There's no beef.
Yeah.
But
I was
they're
just
very excited to.
You know, obviously we know if you're a Strongman fan, you know there's beef with Eddie and Thor. And that's
it's not like that.
It's genuine beef, isn't it?
Oh God, I'm in the middle, Laws. I have to listen to both parties telling me what they really think about the other one daily, right? This is not a marketing ploy, dear fans. They truly, truly hate each other's guts. Like, as in with
I really hope afterwards there's some sort of respect for each other. I don't know whether there will be. Is there any clause for like a rematch for this?
There's always clauses, but whether it will happen or not, that's a different story. I mean, the contract is pretty long term, right? And it's
from speaking to them both. Do you feel they both want to keep boxing afterwards, or is this a one-off?
I don't know about Eddie, but Thor definitely does. See, if you look at the way they're both training, Eddie's training for a fight.
Yeah.
Thor's training to transition career, right? And that's why you see the aggression and the power and how even Eddie, the way he hits the bags, I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but he seems more aggressive. He seems angrier, or maybe that's just his style, right? Thor is taking all the, like he's training to become a boxer potentially.
Yeah, I kind of look at
feels healthier. He feels healthier, so that's
he looks so much better,
and he feels healthier. And I think that was the main thing of, you know, I'm much lighter. I feel nimble. I mean, he's still 140, it's 150 kilos, but he's just and he's feeling better. His blood works, but everything is just better. So he sees that this is more sustainable for the next 5 to 10 years. Now, whether he gets to be good at it or not, it will all depend after this fight how they think about that. Right now, both of them are just
tunnel vision. They both want to knock each other out.
Yeah. So there's that. Regarding the CrossFit thing, the whole point was that's when it came to me. I'm like, okay, I know what the theme of this night is going to be. It's pro athletes from other sports having a trial by combat. It's not YouTuber versus bank manager or anything like that. No, they're all elite athletes, and it's a good chance to kind of test, and it's never been done before, what happens when you apply your sport into combat.
Sure.
Because watching the CrossFit Games, I always thought that it's missing a trick. I'm like, why doesn't the two finalists have this should be some kind of combat? Not necessarily a death match, but you know what I mean, right? And when I said that to the bosses at CrossFit, they're like, yeah. I'm like, this is a chance. The CrossFit endurance, what happens when you put that in the ring? Strongman strength, what happens when that translates into a punch? And let's just see, maybe this can become a thing.
All these kind of like, you know, interesting matchups, they have become a thing, obviously. I mean, you know, you mentioned the YouTuber fights, but just because you're a YouTuber doesn't make you not a good athlete.
Absolutely.
You know,
I know.
It's you see like the Jake Paul kind of stuff, and you know, he sells tickets at the end of the day.
He sells tickets. He's figured out his persona. He's like, okay, everybody despises me and they want to watch me get beaten up. That's what sells tickets. Then so be it. I'm going to embrace this persona of this scumbag, and everybody will pay to hope to watch him.
Do you think with sport in general, we're kind of moving towards not just sport, I guess, you know, the way sport's viewed as well is changing. You know, it is about, well, a lot of these, they're businesses at the end of the day. It's about making money and entertaining people. And that's, you know, that's what YouTube's all about. That's what, you know, pay-per-views are all about. It's about being entertained at the end of the day.
Wave TV is a new app their research stated, I think we have like some kind of a thing with them. It's the whole, I think they own or work with Snapchat. Don't quote me on this, but the way the younger demographic is consuming sports today is completely different. Humans' attention span has shortened massively.
Yeah.
A, because there's so much going on, and B, just like everybody has some kind of a version of attention deficit disorder, right? Where you used to have to be able to give your message in 60 seconds, then it became 30 seconds. Now, anything past 15 seconds, if you don't get your message across, you'll actually see ads now that are 10 to 15 seconds.
People are swiping through, skipping ads.
This, or this. So if you can't convey if you can't capture that attention within the first even 5 to 6 seconds, they're not going to watch the other 5 or 6. So Wave TV is taking highlights, pieces from different sports and compact them into these vines or whatever they call them that are 10 to 15 seconds long. And they get like 4 billion views a month or something ridiculous like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the new world, because if you want the 16 to 20-year-old to watch your thing, you got to make it so.
And
our video team, they're 30.
Yeah, they're old.
During editing, they'll just go on and start playing video games. I'm like, guys, focus. So yeah, it's a whole new world for sport. COVID and that whole no live events and everything moving online played a colossal part in accelerating what was probably going to come anyway. I know a lot of people, the demographic that wants to go to an arena and have drinks and get messed up, that demographic will never change.
Yeah.
The people who are on the fence probably are now more comfortable watching stuff at home out of fear, out of laziness, out of convenience, out of whatever. Like, I'm going to go stand in the queue, this and that. You know what? I'll just watch it at home. You'd be surprised how much.
Yeah, I got to say, like, I was watching the European Championships football the other day, and I was there thinking, I'm just glad I'm watching it from home. You know, the
stadium was packed. That demographic is never going to change. That percentage of people who are going to go and put on a wig and paint a flag on their chest or whatever, fake tits, that demographic is going to be the same percentage day in, day out. Yeah. So I don't think down the line, when all this is over and done with, a stadium capacity is going to have less people. But the people with their chances of going to a stadium, that's going to go less, because there's so many options of viewing sports from their couch. Yeah. And it's just the last year was an accelerant, in my opinion. And I mean, like, the pay-per-view, online streaming, I've literally quintupled in stats and numbers in the last 12 to 18 months. It's just ridiculous. So we got to move with the times. And that was completely off topic. That is, we're not even talking strongman anymore.
Right. I was gonna finish by bringing it back to strongman. Obviously, we've spoken about, you know, your involvement now with the ladies, obviously the under 105s and the strength fleet, which is brilliant. Just to see the sport grow. Obviously, we've got the boxing to look forward to, but we have an awesome lineup of strongmen to look forward to as well, which I'm extremely excited about. You got four brutal events that we know of. You've got the
fifth one we're not going to tell you.
The mystery event, which you won't even tell me what it is. So,
hey, it's not me. It's the angry Scotsman. You can speak to him about it.
But
I think we're. Go on.
I was just going to say that the mystery event went down pretty well in Bahrain. I think with fans and athletes, to be honest. Yeah. Obviously, you know, if you do good at it as an athlete, you like it more. But looking at the events, he's picked some brutal events this year. So we got a 180 log lift for reps.
Yeah,
we have seen that before in Dubai with Ian Bibi.
2019. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, Ian Bibi managing 5 reps. I think Luke Stoltman and Kiliashkovsky both did 4. So I've seen comments online saying, "Oh, that's ridiculous. No one's going to get any reps." You know, we've had 5 from Ian Bibi, 4 from Luke and, you know, Kiliashkovsky. We've got
Shivlikov did 3. A few people did 2. Karan did 3. I think that
Brian Shaw did a couple.
Yeah, he did 3.
So, you know, brutal event, but we have so many great presses right now.
So many great presses. And so we still are to release the official lineup. It's going to be less people. See, we went from no events to like all the events in one quarter, right? So there is a chance of not being able to get like all 15 athletes.
I've been saying this, the athletes are going to have to be selective about what they do. The year has been condensed into 5 months.
Into 3 months or 4 months. Exactly.
So it's going to be tough for a lot of the top guys.
We've got the return of the Matt. Kilishkovsky's coming back. That's his first
he's announced that he's definitely coming back for that one, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Zadrunas is competing.
That's exciting. It's always, I mean, Zadrunas exciting, or competing, sorry. He's just, in my opinion, he's the GOAT.
Timeless. He's timeless.
And I openly say this. I don't think we're ever going to see Big Z at his best. I think at 46, 47 years old now, you're asking a lot to bring back your best. But
I don't know, man. I don't know. He messaged me. He's like, I want to compete. I don't want to referee anymore. I want to compete. I like events. I'm like, okay.
He's an incredible human being. I mean, 30th year in Strongman. 30th year doing it. I'm getting close to 20 and, feeling he's just a remarkable human being. But what I was trying to get to the point of is I don't think we'll ever see him at his best. But I don't think that matters because even at 80%, he's bloody dangerous, And that's right. that was kind of the point I wanted to bring up. Is even an 80% Zadrunas is still world class.
Exactly. Not at his best means he's still going to probably place top 5, right? In any competition.
And I think he's got certain events he's still really good at. So I think, he'll have lost a little bit of pace on some events. Maybe his moving is not quite as quick as it used to be. But there's certain events, he's just still a beast.
Yeah.
And, who doesn't want to see the GOAT?
Oh, yeah. We were just so excited. I'm like, well, this is going to be fun. Because I think he's doing the Shaw Classics. He's just going to come straight from there.
Yeah. 2 big shows in a row.
I think Martins was confirmed, but he's decided to take a step back, heal properly. So he's going to move on. I think he's going to do the Rogue Invitational first. Yep. He needs time until October. JF, Bobby Thompson, a load of Janasia, Thor, Rauno, Toots, pretty much almost everybody from Bahrain. So we'll be able to finalize that lineup pretty soon. But I kind of wanted to put it out that Matias is coming back.
I think that's exciting news for sure.
He's obviously a little bit. You can't not be concerned when there's like with the tricep with 108.
When you're coming back from any injury, there's always going to be until he gets into competition, the whistle goes, and he sort of forgets about the injury and just goes for it. Yeah. He'll either hold up and he'll be fine, and then that confidence will grow, or it'll hold him back. But I do believe with his talent, he's more than capable of coming back. I really hope we see the best of him because I think
hope so. Alexei. Yeah. Alexei. So Alexei versus Matias. That's going to be an interesting. Ivars. Yeah, it's a pretty decent lineup. I'm not going to fuck it up like last time, but I'm just going to leave it until it's official on a piece of paper.
We know for sure. We'll announce it for sure. But it's going to be an incredible event.
Rob was meant to be there, but he's had some unfortunate health issues recently. So we were the first to know about it because he was always excited about doing the show. But he will be officially your co-commentator.
Well, Rob Kearney and myself doing the commentating for this.
Rob Kearney and yourself with Liz lurking Liz in the background somewhere.
Uncle Loz and Auntie Liz lurking around. Well, Auntie Liz will be lurking. I'll be sat down in front of my monitor. But we're really looking forward to coming over. It's been a long. Yeah, for me, I'm used to traveling all throughout the year, and just I've been to Bahrain in the last year. That's it. It's kind of weird,
right?
That's the only trip I've done.
Within the UK, I think you moved. You moved a little bit, right?
It's in the UK now. Things are only just opening up properly this Monday coming. So, we're allowed to do arena shows again, which is great. But we're way behind the States at the moment on those type of events. So, but things are slowly improving. So.
Just hope so. Like this year is going to be the tough one with look, it's human nature, and it's the nature of business as well. Like, you get a chance, you're going to try to make up for lost revenue. So everybody's packing events into that last quarter of the year. But after that, hopefully, if things continue to improve, then next year everybody will be like able to, all right, we know who's doing shows January to March. We know who's doing shows March to, so hoping it'll be easier. The Strong brand, we're actually very, very, very excited about it, because I don't know of a single other strongman organization that is figuring out how to grassroots, like, new talent, right? Because at the end of the day, if you look at the total pool of pro competitors, even if it's 100, it's not enough. It's not a big sport. So how do we, if the average person doesn't believe in their head that I can also become a strongman, whether it's under 90 or whether it's under 105, so we have to make it accessible to them and to the females, right? And that's why Mark is running all these local competitions at the gym, at Strong Gym. It's like housewives and moms and everybody's doing it. It's that sport, right? It doesn't have to be a 200 kilo Atlas stone. It can be a 30 or 40 kilo Atlas stone. It is for everybody. And so that's where, with collaboration with the Strength Lead guys, I believe, so that's the kind of the opener for that day in Florida with the 105 guys.
We got the under 105s doing the strong circuit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't actually know the events because I'm an idiot like that, you know yourself.
I think it's like tire flip, dumbbell. I think there's a farmer's walk, deadlift, kind of standard
basic movements. Exactly. And yeah, tickets are selling. I'll send you a link if you wanna put that in, because laws, strongman only is $18. If fans if ever there was anything that says we're doing it for the fan, the entire weekend pass, WUS Fight Night combo pass, $59.
Wow,
that's 42.
Yeah, that's sterling. That's incredible.
Right? So I mean, why not, right?
What's the max capacity you can have? Is there rules on how many you can have, or?
Yes and no. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because there's no law or regulation that says you have to have social distancing and all that. But they kind of left it to us. They're like, if you want to present a socially responsible event, you can space it out. You can do whatever. So with our format and the floor area and all that, with our configuration, I think the max capacity is 13 and a half.
Okay.
Of which 4,000 is the complete, like the highest upper deck. It's a basketball and hockey arena.
Yeah.
So there's an upper deck. I'm not sure if anybody's going to want to watch from that far away. Yes. So that's why we opened up the floor and the lower bowl first. And if we fill that out, it's still like 7,000, 7,500 capacity without any, like when I say 7,000, it's like sitting next to each other back, like back in the good old days in 2019, right? Hey, can we share a beer? So that's what it is. And we're probably going to have the same setup, like production wise for both nights. Yeah. It's going to be interesting with all the athletes getting to do their walkouts, and we're going to try to do a good entertainment job of it. And since all the events are head to head, back on TV again, ESPN are airing the
entire I have to be careful about what I say again.
Yes, absolutely.
Is this going out live then as well?
Live on television, live on ESPN. We're in the middle of negotiating maybe 15 to 20 other countries internationally, linear television. It's going to be on Core Sports. It's going to be on Rogue's YouTube, but all of it, the women and the men.
Brilliant.
So we didn't give anybody the option of, we'll take this and not that. No, you're taking everything. Everybody needs to see it. Boom. And so probably the entire live show between the women and the men would be like 5 hours maybe. Cool. 5.5 with a 15, 20-minute intermission. Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
We'll get you all the water so you can just keep your, and some whiskey maybe just to keep your
as long as I don't have to have a COVID test whilst doing commentary this time. I don't know if I told you, in Bahrain,
I know.
Did my COVID test while I was doing the commentary. This woman shoved this thing up my nose. You could probably hear it in my voice. I was the tears coming down my eyes.
Oh my God. No, that was like getting everybody tested on competition day. That was so bad. But there was no other option because the flights were the way the flights
I think,
were.
the way things are looking, we'll have more time this time.
Yeah, we'll have more time, but everybody tends to forget. We did the show in Bahrain during a full lockdown.
Yeah.
Right. So this was like at its peak when everything was like, and now people are vaccinated. By the way, we still have 2 months to go. Who knows what the rules are going to be by then?
Well, exactly. Let's hope things get better for travel. And, I'm sure there's lots of people from UK, Iceland that all want to come over and, see this event. So fingers crossed things keep improving. But hopefully, for the American fans, make sure you get there. It's going to be a huge strongman weekend. You got under 105s, the ladies competing, the open men's, you got the boxing. It's going to be an entertaining one for sure.
We might throw in some arm wrestling for the people outside as well. just set up a table. Not because Devin's going to be there, Michael's going to be there. They're all. I mean, the amount of top athletes that are flying in for that weekend is just like ridiculous, right?
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be. We're really looking forward to it. So, click the link below to get your tickets now. I'll leave that to you, Laws.
We'll leave that one to Liz.
Anything else you want to know? Anything in specific?
Have you got any other events on the horizon before we kind of leave you today? Or we just focus on these for now?
No, events on the horizon, we definitely do. We're planning one at the end of the year, but the location has not been determined.
Okay.
Right? It's either going to be in Abu Dhabi on what was originally Fight Island. Remember last year they had this little... or Saudi Arabia. One of those two, whoever, wherever we get the best deal, really. That's probably for like this side of Christmas, like beginning of December.
Okay.
We're talking strongman only, right?
Yeah.
I
know you do like the fighting, arm wrestling, all sorts of other things going on.
Arm wrestling, by the way, thank you very much for jumping in with the commentary on that. We really enjoyed that.
I love the arm wrestling. It was brilliant.
Oh, dude, did I tell you, like, that show did so well. We broke all pay-per-view records in arm wrestling. It's just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And big props to Devin and Michael for doing that.
Devin was wasn't he?
But my God, like, that's like, no, really? Because the price is right.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not piss takers. Look at everything we do in Strongman. We try to put it out there for free as much as possible, to our own detriment, but so be it. The fight, $14.99 for 8 fights.
Yeah.
It's not. We're not taking the piss. Arm wrestling was like $5, and then it was $7 or something like that. In this day and age, after the economic turmoil that everybody's going through, if you're going to be conscious about your subscriptions, for example, or when you're doing cost cutting, you'll see, I pay this much for Netflix, this much for Prime, this much for I don't know what. When you do that math, you're like, wait a minute, I'm paying $150 if you don't have Skybox.
Yeah.
About £300 worth of subscriptions recurring. You're like, I want to. So you start making cutbacks.
Yeah.
So if we can be part of that while keeping it so minimal that it's probably the same price as like 2 Starbucks coffees for the whole year, then that's what we'll do. And if we can keep something for free, we'll keep it for free.
Cool. Awesome.
That's what it is.
As always, it's a pleasure chatting to you. Great to hear that there's so many big things coming up, and I know Liz is excited. I'm excited to be coming out to the States, over to Florida. I think it's going to be a fantastic event. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for coming on, Don. And
thank you for always being.
Anyone has any questions about the events coming up, comment below. I know Don and his team keep an eye on the comments. So
sometimes me personally, when I'm lying awake with one eye open, going, I can't sleep. I'll just go to Law's channel and answer some YouTube comments. I should really stay away from the comments because some of them can be really brutal. And you're like, don't say it. But no, happy to answer, happy to listen. If fans have suggestions, I know let's open up a whole can of worms, but we do try to listen as much as possible. So if anybody has any comments, if anybody has any thoughts, if anybody wants to ask us something in particular, have at it. So be it. We're here.
Brilliant. Well, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for coming on again, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Guys, Don Idrees.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.